Good morning. It's Mrs. Owens again from Sequoyah Elementary. It's good to see you again today. I just wanted to share with you a story today that I absolutely fell in love with the first time I read it. I laughed out loud when I read the book, and I found it to be quite entertaining, and I hope that you will as well. We're going to listen with intention this morning, and we're going to focus on the ELA concept of personification. I want you to look at the screen, and I want you to look at the word personification and study it a little bit. And do you see any small word right at the beginning of the word personification? Can you see a smaller word there? Do you see the word person? I bet you did. I bet that's what you were seeing, wasn't it? Well, personification is when you give an animal or an object qualities or abilities that only a human can have. This is a creative literary tool that adds interest and fun to poems and stories. Personification is what writers use to bring non-human things to life. It's such a fun tool. In third grade, we've talked a lot about figurative language, different kinds of figurative language, different ways of writing so that our writing is interesting and fun to read. We talked in, I believe, the first story about Nerdy Birdie, we talked about the similes in Nerdy Birdie. And in our classroom, we've talked about metaphors and idioms and hyperboles. Well, personification kind of fits in that category. It's a way of making your writing interesting. Here's some examples of some personification. Lightning danced across the sky. Now, lightning doesn't really dance, does it? But if you think about it, if you've ever watched a lightning storm from the safety of your home, you've seen those bolts as they come down from the cloud and maybe strike the ground. Lots of times it looks like they're dancing. Here's another one. The stairs groaned as we walked on them. Now, if you can see the picture clearly enough, it says, oh, grunt, ugh. Well, they don't really sound like that, but my grandmother had a bedroom on the second story when I was a little kid, and my uncle lived up there. And I remember you couldn't sneak up there to save your life because every time you'd step on those old wooden stairs, they would creak. It reminds me kind of like a haunted house, stairs that groan. And in this instance, they groaned as we walked on them. Here's another example. The moon smiled at the stars in the sky. Have you ever looked outside and you saw the moon and it almost looked like it had a face? Did it look like it smiled? That's personification. Now, lots of writers and lots of different careers use personification. Get a load of this one. Have you ever seen this character before? Have you ever seen the M&Ms? Sure you have. M&Ms are chocolate candies with a hard outer covering. And they used to say they melt in your mouth, not in your hand. But look at the character of the M&M. They've given the character human features, given him arms and legs, and I think this one has an attitude. Here's another example of personification. Oh, look. The Geico Gecko. In my classroom right now, if I was showing this to my students, I'd break out and I'd say, oh, matey, would you like a spot of tea? Buy insurance? Well, my friend Cole that was in my class really didn't like it whenever I'd break out in my poorly accented voice. But that's exactly what they have done. Advertisers oftentimes will give those human characteristics to things that aren't. How about this one? Oh, don't all kids know Chester Cheetah? Sure you do. What does he advertise? Cheetos. We all love Cheetos, don't we? Another one is this one. Look at this one. Who always wins, or what always wins? Gatorade. Look at the Gatorade bottle. When I first saw this, I thought the Gatorade bottle I thought they were playing football, but they're really not. This is a racetrack, and the Gatorade bottle is breaking the tape as the winner. Gatorade always wins. What about this one? What is Milk's favorite cookie? Now, it's not the Oreo is Milk's favorite cookie, but the Oreo is not what's been personified here. What's got human characteristics here? It's the milk. The milk has a favorite cookie. So we can see that personification is a tool that's used all around us. We see it every day. We just need to learn how to use it ourselves. Something else I'd like for you to kind of watch, we're going to talk about as we go through this story, is we're going to talk about story elements. Story elements of fiction writers. These are the 5 essential elements that you'll see in a story. And these 5 essential elements just allow the story to develop in a way that makes sense to the one who reads it. In other words, these 5 things are always found in stories. Characters. There's always a setting. It always tells us where the story takes place. It's interesting in this particular book because the setting changes multiple times. There's always a plot. The plot being the gist of the entire story. What is the story going to be all about? What drives the story? In fiction writing, there's a problem. The characters experience some sort of problem in a fiction story. And then there's finally a conclusion or a solution to the problem, and that's how it wraps up. So as we read today, I want you to be aware of, okay, who are the characters, or what are the characters? Where's this taking place? What is the problem? And then when we get to the end, let's see if we can't find that solution. So with that being said, let me get to the book. I can't wait. I'll get my glasses on so I can read correctly. Now I'm going to share with you the story today of the legend of rock, paper, scissors. Now immediately a lot of little thought bubbles are going up in your heads because that's called schema. Many of you know about this game because all around. I bet you've played it before at home or maybe in your classroom. Well, Drew DeWalt wrote this book of the legend of rock, paper, scissors. It's not a how-to book on how to play the game. Not at all. He created a story using those 5 essential elements, but about something very familiar to us. The pictures in the book were done by Adam Rex. Phenomenal job. I can't wait for you to see them. Now, as I open to the title page of the book, I want you to notice something. At the bottom, the writer said 1, 2, 3. Think about that. Rock, paper, scissors. Wonder why at the bottom of the very first page it would say 1, 2, 3. Have you got it figured out? That's exactly how you play rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2, 3, boom. And you show which character you're picking. 1, 2, 3, shoot, sometimes we say. Well, that's exactly what the writer did when they wrote the book. 1, 2, 3, go. And there is our dedication page. As I was looking through the dedication page, this book was written for Henry. And I didn't really think that much about it when I first looked at it. I always like to peruse everything in the book when I get a new book. And I bought this book for myself because I liked it so much. But I noticed that it was written for Henry. And I thought, I wonder who Henry was. Henry comes back in a very obscure place in the story. I'll point it out to you when we get there. So here we go. Long ago, in an ancient and distant realm called the Kingdom of Backyard, there lived a warrior named Rock. Rock was the strongest in all the land, but he was sad because no one could give him a worthy challenge. Now, right off the bat, we are already setting, right? Where are they? They're in the Kingdom of Backyard. That's exactly right. We already have met one of the characters. This is what happens in most books. Character development is oftentimes in the first few pages of a book. In this book, however, you're going to see characters introduced all the way throughout. So here we are in the Kingdom of Backyard. Rock traveled in the Kingdom of Backyard to the mysterious forest over by the tire swing. so it changed a little, where he met a warrior who hung on a rope holding a giant's underwear. "Drop that underwear and battle me, you ridiculous wooden clip man." "I will pinch you and make you cry, rock warrior." Now, who do you think the ridiculous wooden clip man is? Can you see? And look at the giant's underwear. Now, remember I told you that this book was written for Henry, a boy named Henry? Well, I noticed on these tighty-whities, on the band of the tighty-whities, guess whose name is there? Henry. I don't know. I don't know who Henry is, but I bet there's a connection. I bet there's a connection. So, did you think the ridiculous wooden clip man was Clothespin? You were right. Rock versus Clothespin. Rock is victorious. Look at how Rock just blew that clip man to smithereens. Not even a contest. I want you to look at Rock. I did a little background research, too, on the characters of the book. And they said Rock, when the guy developed the character of Rock, he called him he had a blunt attitude, and he was very dogmatic, very straightforward, just went right in and fought. That was the kind of character that he wanted Rock to be. Well, even though he had won, Rock still was still unsatisfied. That means he wasn't satisfied. So he journeyed on to the mystical tower of Grandma's favorite apricot tree. So he gets to Grandma's favorite apricot tree. That had special meaning to me in my schema because my grandmother had an apricot tree right out her backyard. In her backyard. I loved that apricot tree. It was very easy to climb it, and I liked the taste of apricots. Well, there he was met by an odd and delicious fruit. So he met this fruit. Now, if your parents are listening, I hope they close their ears because this is what he said. "You, sir, look like a fuzzy little butt." "What?" "I challenge you to a duel." "Then let us battle." Oh, my goodness. Well, Apricot's not afraid, is he? They're going to battle. Rock versus Apricot. Oh, and they go at it. That is an angry Apricot. "I will beat you, Rock, with my tart and tangy sweetness." And they get after it. Who do you think won? Yes, Rock is victorious. Ugh. I'm smooshed. And yet, smooshing you has brought me no joy. Rock is just not happy at all. So here he is in his backyard. It took me a little while to figure out who he was yelling at. But if you look at the backyard, he's looking at all of these other friends in the backyard, and he just looks at them and screams, "Are you not entertained?" And it said that they were entertained. But the battle had been too easy. So Rock left the kingdom of backyard, still in search of a worthy foe. What would be a synonym for foe? What do you think? If he was looking for somebody to challenge him, so what might be a synonym for foe? Might be a challenger, might be an enemy, might be another contestant, but he's leaving the kingdom of backyard. So if you haven't figured it out, we're going to get a setting change, aren't we? And sure enough, we do. Meanwhile, in the empire of Mom's home office, on a lonely and windswept desk mountain, a second great warrior sought the glory of battle. And this is the second great warrior. His name was Paper. Now, when they designed paper, the author decided that paper should be very smart and intelligent and very wise, could do lots of things. So think about that paper. He looks pretty innocent there, sitting on top of Desk Mountain. And it says that even though he was the smartest warrior in all the land, he was also sad because no one could outwit him. Now, wasn't that the same problem that Rock had? Nobody could beat rock. So there's another one of those essential elements. That was the problem that rock had. He couldn't find anyone to battle that could beat him. That paper is having the same problem. He set out across Desk Mountain to find his match, and there he met a large and square monster. I want you to, can you see the monster really closely? Look at the monster. What do you think that is on a desk? Any idea? I gobble up the likes of you and spit them out every day, little paper. Oh, then taste my fury, giant box monster. Paper versus computer printer. No, not a paper jam. Paper is victorious. Now, if you're an adult, you understand paper jam. The computers, the printers that sit in our classrooms, when they get jammed up with paper, oh, it's awful. But not this time. Paper caused it and it's victorious. So the printer didn't work. Having beaten the fiercest fighter on Desk Mountain, Paper climbed down to the pit of office trash bin. Now, if you haven't figured that out, Paper's going to go down here to the trash can. And that's where he battles the most terrifying horde of creatures in all the land. A half-eaten bag of trail mix. Ugh. Look, half-eaten bag of trail mix. And Paper jumps right in. He's not afraid at all. Paper versus half-eaten bag of trail mix. Oh, foul wizard, he's blotted out the sun. Run for your lives, laddies. So there they go. Man, there wasn't even a contest there. They are running for the exits as fast as they can. Paper looks a little bit angry there, though, I think. I don't know what's wrong with, I don't know. He wins again, though, right? Sure he did. Paper wins again. Can no one beat me? And so, with a heavy heart, Paper departed the empire of Mom's home office, and off he walks, very glum and sad, just like Rock. Do you think, have you figured out what you think might happen next? Are we going to have a setting change? Do you think we'll meet another character? Do you think you know who the character is? You probably do. You probably do. At the same time, in the kitchen realm, in the tiny village of Junk Drawer, there lived a third-grade warrior, and they called her Scissors. Now, this is where I laughed out loud, because when I was a kid, we had this so-called drawer at our house, a junk drawer, and it was full of all kinds of junk. There were rubber bands and nails and screws and things you couldn't even identify. And, you know, I got married and I moved into my own home. And lo and behold, if one of these drawers didn't happen in my house too. A junk drawer of all things. Well, that's where Scissors came from. She lived in junk drawer. Their junk drawer looks a little bit better than mine did. Mine was truly junk. And they made her female. I don't really know why, but they did. And she was really quick and really fast, is how the author described this character. She was the fastest blade in all the land. She, too, was unchallenged. And on this day, her first opponent was a strange and sticky circle man. Now, can you see what the strange and sticky circle man was? Look up there. She says, "Let us do battle, you tacky and vaguely round monstrosity." And he says, "I'll battle you and I'll leave you beaten and confused with my adhesive entangling powers." Yep, it was a roll of tape. I don't know. That might be pretty damaging to a pair of scissors. Scissors versus roll of tape. Scissors is victorious. Okay, well, Scissor forged on across the kitchen realm to the frigid wastes of refrigerator freezer. And there she met her most fearsome adversaries yet. Ooh, synonym. Adversary would be another synonym for foe. Ooh, I love it, how they share different words. Yet, it says she encountered dinosaurs made of frozen breaded chicken. Chicken nuggets in dinosaur shapes. Now, those ought to be pretty good fighters. I mean, dinosaurs, I would think. I have come from the far reaches of kitchen to battle you, oh bizarre, yummy breaded dinosaurs. Bow before our child-pleasing shapes and flavors, Sword Master. No one can resist our crunchy awesomeness. Scissors versus dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets. Dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets win? Maybe that's how he changed the story. No! Wait, no, they don't. Scissors is victorious again. Am I so good that not even dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets can beat me? And so, Scissors, like rock and paper before her, traveled beyond her own kingdom, seeking out a challenger who was her equal. So once again, now we have our three main characters and a number of supporting characters throughout the story. Now we know what their problem is. They're all suffering with the same problem. I think we're reaching the end of our book, don't you? What do you think is going to happen next? Let's see. Then one day, in the great cavern of two-car garage. So now they're in the two-car garage, and they are going to encounter one another. Rock and Scissors came face to face. She looks a lot bigger than he does. And she says, I hope you're wearing your battle pants, Rock Warrior. And he says, if by battle pants you mean no pants, but I'm willing to fight you, then yes, I'm wearing my battle pants, weird scissory one. Do you know who wins between Rock and Scissors? Oh, it was a big fight. Rock versus Scissors. Looks like they got rockets going off. Man. An epic and legendary battle ensued, but ultimately Rock is victorious. You've made me so happy by beating me. Ugh, I wish I felt your joy, Scissors, for I have yet to meet a warrior who can beat me. Hi there. In pops paper. Those are fighting words. Wait, what? Paper's a little bit caught off guard. Rock versus paper. Look. Rock goes down. Paper's right there on top. This is the best day of my life. Thank you for winning, oh great knight of paper. Well, that's fine for you, but it looks as though no one will ever beat me. Not so fast, paper. Wait, what? Oh, look. Scissors versus paper. You beat me. And the three great warriors hugged each other. We didn't have social distancing then. And they danced for joy, and they became fast friends, and they had each met their matches. They were so happy, in fact, that they began to battle again and again. Round and round they went in the most massive and epic three-way battle of all time. And it is said that this joyous struggle still rages on to this very day. And that is why children around the world in backyards, on playgrounds, and yes, even in classrooms, still honor the three great warriors by playing rock, paper, scissors. Love, love, love it. Let's play. Ready? I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, go. And then you show me what you got. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. I'm scissors. Are you rock? Are you paper? Gotcha. Fun game. Fun game to play. Now, I think we've already pretty much identified all of our essential elements that we have, our plot, our setting, and so forth. We know now a lot about personification. I love that part of this book. Here's how I want you to take it a little bit further, okay? Well, I forgot about that. I was going to take you back to our lesson on theme. Winning isn't everything, and making friends is the greatest victory. I want to scoot on through to taking it a little deeper. All right, here are some things that I'd like for you to try to do. The first one says, create a cartoon with 2 battling objects. Now, a cartoon can be created on anything that looks like this. So make your own cartoon. How about writing a legend that personifies an object? Find something that doesn't have life and breathe life into it. Or develop a game that can be played with minimal props. Something like rock, paper, scissors that maybe people around the world will play someday because you created it. What a great thing to do. I want you, it's been fun. I love sharing the story. It's been a great day today. I hope that you have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.